What's up, everybody? It's your boy Shaquem Griffin here,
And it's your boy, Shaquille Griffin here.
and you are joining us on Consumer Launchpad. Yeah, you heard it, Consumer Launchpad. Me and my brother are doing this podcast, and we're going to be giving you insight about things that we're going to be doing here. But before we get into all that and the details, let me go ahead and check in on my twin
Yeah.
brother over here. Yeah, who would have thought we'd be doing this?
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. Doing some new innovating things and to have an opportunity to be in this space, it's a wonderful opportunity. So I'm excited. My headspace is really good, really in a good place. Got my newborn and the kids running around. They safe, they growing, they getting older, getting bigger. Signed with my new team, well, not my new team, original team. So
Yeah.
getting right back to it. But yeah, mental is doing good, heart's doing better. I mean, I'm in the right spot.
Back in Seattle, family moving back to the rain.
Yeah. How you been feeling though? How you been feeling, man? It's something special to see you, outside this football stuff and to see your journey, man. Where you been at mentally?
I've been good. Staying focused. I think that's been the biggest thing coming from football and doing the stuff that I'm doing now and getting into this technology, innovative stuff. Motivational speaking has been going, amazing. I think that would have kind of allowed me to be in the spaces that I'm in now today. And that's why I'm kind of excited to be doing this with you now because I know that you play a lot of football. You you got a lot of miles on them legs.
Slide.
So it's always good when we can be able to come back and do things together. And I'm just excited for you to be here, and I'm thankful for that's making this happen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited you bringing me along with this journey. Life outside of football, get a chance to experience a little bit earlier while I'm still playing. But trust me, make me feel a lot better going into this year and knowing that I got something I'm working on outside of this. So I appreciate it. I really
Of course, man. So consumer launchpad, I'm pretty sure people are probably going to be thinking, what is that? Can you give an idea of what you think, and I'll kind of piggyback off of you about what we're trying to do for the people and the viewers that's going to be watching.
Man, it's giving people with, innovative thoughts, giving people the opportunity to create something that means something to them that they want to share to their audience or let's say the world. Consumer Launchpad is giving the opportunity for you to let your ideas run wild. And while your ideas run wild, we'll fulfill whatever dreams or goals that you have. And eventually we'll have the head man to kind of break into the details, but I'll let my brother kind of tell you, his thoughts on Consumer Launchpad.
So consumer launchpad to me is initially being able to give the consumer the ability to make their own product. And it's cool to kind of be in this space because if I can tell you a story about my process of being around product innovation, me and my brother have been sponsored by Nike for over a decade. And you put the time in to build this brand of yours and you get this hypeness around your name, and you have so many brands around you that's trying to pay for your name, and once they do, they have ownership and the rights to your name and likeness, and also your creative ideas.
Yeah.
So you got these ideas that you want to create. I want to make this, I want to make that, and because you're assigned to this brand, initially they will reap all the royalties because of that.
Or you'll be saving your ideas and putting them on the back burner for later, and hopefully you get a chance to use them, if that. But being owned is crazy. You even say that out loud.
Exactly. And I feel like the best thing that we're doing here is being able to give ownership back to the brands themselves. You put too much work in to build that brand and become an amazing brand that you are. And when you're trying to create products for your audience that love you, it's another brand that's trying to pay for your name so they can reap the royalties of what you're creating.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely exciting. And, I think I want to go into what led us here.
All right, being here today, tell me, my brother, man, what led you or led us to be where we are today in this situation to be partner or be part owners of Consumer Launchpad? How did this all bring about? What inspired you? What brought you here? How did it all happen? How did it unfold?
It's been one heck of a journey, and it just goes to the people that you surround yourself with. And I think that was kind of the start of it. Like I said, before, me doing motivational speaking, it kind of led me to be in certain spaces where I was having access and resources to different people that I never thought I'll be around. And fast forward, being able to meet the founder of this consumer launchpad named Tiger Lee.
Yeah.
He came, he played rugby for Arizona State University.
I couldn't do rugby. That's a little too tough.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, that's a tough
Yeah, it's
game.
tough. It's tough.
But I remember we was playing in school at UCF,
Mhm.
and I invited him out, so he came and hung out. Seen the game. He was on the sideline with us, rooting against his own team. So respect,
So respect.
respect to
Respect
my guy
Tiger.
Tiger.
Respect Tiger.
And after meeting the people around there, I ended up getting inducted into the Hall of Fame,
Mhm.
and he flew in to come visit and actually, see me being inducted and hung out. So it's just like
Wow.
it was more so of an authentic relationship, what led us to here being at Consumer Launchpad. Tiger meeting you, bringing us on along, and now it's like, okay, man, we get a chance to innovate and help people. I don't think I don't like that.
It's crazy because it kind of sounds too good to be true. The way all this happened, the way it unfolded, but oh man, the opportunity seemed like it's there. Well, I feel like at first you was trying to be maybe an ambassador, and I feel like maybe you dialed in more to maybe you can utilize this more than just promoting it. We didn't have a product yet, but was able to find people and bring ideas that they kind of had, but couldn't really put it all together.
Mhm.
So I imagine when you brought me into these convos about being in this space, uh, sooner, right after, maybe a couple weeks or if not a month after, we had a lot of people start bringing ideas to me.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
wild ideas. I don't want to put it on tape because it's his idea, and one day we're gonna bring it to you guys. But I feel like having that convo, I feel like that helped me personally find my space into this consumer launchpad. Because I was able to help him dial back, understand what he's trying to create, and trying to figure out who his audience is going to be and how can it start here but be this huge thing later on. And I feel like that's what we was good at.
yeah,
Now we in a situation where we create our own brand now. Well, we are the innovative minds as well on that
yeah.
side of being able to create our own brands and create things for ourselves. You
Yeah, I
stepping
guess I
into
guess being able to not only be a part, but being able to be kind of the infrastructure for
that's
people
it.
because we
You
creating our
are
own as
yeah,
well.
you are the creative mind. And I think that's why we in that space because people want to utilize the ideas that we bring forth.
Yeah,
And it's not too many people where we had a conversation where if they had an idea, we amplify it to something that's going to be longevity long after they're gone.
yeah,
And I think that's the part that we bring to Consumers Launchpad. Now Tiger Lee is the guy who's going to fulfill it. He's going to make it happen. He got the resources. We're going to put this right idea on table so Tiger can make it work seamlessly. And I think that's where we come in at. So you have let's say you have your creative mind, then you have us, then you have Tiger. We're going to make your idea make sense to tell Tiger to create for you and all the consumers next behind you.
I think it becomes the people extended resource too because a lot of times people have these amazing ideas but don't know how to really go about it. Right? They
That's your
don't
first
really.
step. Yeah.
Yeah, like who do I go to? How do I get this trademark? How do I get this finalized? What manufacturer to go to? Is this a trusted
Hmm.
manufacturer? Will he fulfill what I need? Will I be able to get this license into stores? And you got so many different things that you don't know or think about, but being able to have the extended resources like us,
Hmm.
we can kind of bring that idea into fruition in real
Yeah.
life.
We the guys that make sure you check off each box to
What do
me.
you, if I can ask, what do you think will be the biggest, I would say, attribute for athletes utilizing consumer launchpad in your perspective?
What will be the biggest attribute?
Yeah,
Um, I think the biggest attribute will be to have us as a resource. The same way you just said, a couple seconds ago, is I think the main step is where do I start?
yeah,
And I feel like that's the part that we bring because uh, I said it a little earlier. Sometimes it sounds like it's too good to be true,
yeah,
and that's the part that we have to overcome because we're in this grateful situation, and it's not. It didn't happen just for no reason. I
right.
feel like everything happens for a reason. There's a reason why we're here. I feel like we're here because we touch a lot of people generally already. And I feel like now that we have this platform, we can be that resources for anybody who know us, wants to know us, or surround us. Cause in a way, I do feel like it's kind of who you know and not what you know.
Yeah,
and a lot of people know us.
That's,
And
that
that's where
does
we
make
create,
sense.
yeah, and that's where we create that funnel at. So, I think that's the biggest attribute because if you got an idea,
A resource that can bridge gaps for people that may not already have that.
yeah. So I have an idea. Now where do I take it?
Yeah.
Let me take it to the twins. Twins gonna take it to so and so. So that's kind of how I see it. Don't
Mhm.
get me wrong. I have some ideas for myself, but uh, I want to help the other guys first,
Yeah.
and I'll be right behind them. I'm always get me, but
Yeah.
I come after them. I want to get the guys right first. So I think that's the biggest attribute. We're gonna give you your first steps. You already got your idea. Now we're gonna tell you how to make it happen.
Yeah. I think we get a chance to kind of inspire the next, in a sense, Michael Jordan. Shout out to Michael Jordan mom for getting, stock into Nike before he ended up signing.
That's a move.
Right.
That's a
So
real
it's just
move.
like every time they buy that Jordan, he gonna get royalties. He gonna get
Yeah.
paid for that.
Yeah, I should talk to
You know,
mom. My mom should have invested.
yeah. So billions later, now I feel like we get a chance to inspire somebody else to do that.
Yeah.
And we both know Nike ain't finna just pay everybody like that.
Nope.
They're not finna do that.
Nope.
You sure finna get a whole bunch of Nike. You gonna be laced up.
Laced up. Every Nike, all the Nike, new
But the
Nike,
the
old Nike.
ability to build your audience that love you and then create something or that shoe or that sock or that shirt or that cosmetic or whatever the case may be, and it's just like you're the owner of that.
Mhm.
That's you. That's your product. That's your idea. That's that's stuff that you've been dreaming about without somebody else taking ownership of it, and then you asking, "Hey, do I get royalties of that?" Oh no, I don't work like that.
So you're giving consumers a chance to know what it feels like to have that. This is too good to be true feeling. That's what it sounds like. Because if you offering that, you tell them one thing I do is come with an idea and you can make it happen for me.
Everybody should have their stock in their own brand
And
for
it's
sure,
true.
not
This
the other
is
way around.
if it's too good to be true for us, it should be too good to be true for you as well. And I think that's what we're trying to capture.
And I know a lot of times we've been talking about having ownership of your own brand. And when it comes to having ownership of your own brand and being able to have resources to create the product for your audience, we want to be able to give you the idea of what the manufacturing life looks like. As you guys are starting the podcast, we're going to be visited by our founder, Tiger Lee. As a matter of fact, he's going to be joining us today to give you some more insight about how manufacturing go and how he separates himself from others. Tiger, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I'm glad that you was able to join us today, man. I know you had a lot of stuff going on. Hey, can you just give the crowd and the audience a little bit about yourself and what led us here?
Hey, Shakeem and Shaquille, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I'm honored to be here, and I've been such a big fan of you guys for so long, seeing your stories and everything that you guys have done for the sport and for the world of accessibility. I just want to say thank you so much for having me on again. Big fan, and I'm very glad to be here talking to you both. Yeah, so to introduce myself, like I said, my name is Tiger, no relation to Tiger Woods. Um, Basically, I run a manufacturing business out of Shenzhen, China. We've been operational for 20 years, working with some of the largest clients in the world, making consumer products, from bicycles, snowboards, skis, lighting products, all the way, everything that you may, use in a day-to-day life. That's exactly kind of what we're making. Um, but recently we've discovered that with these big companies, there's still a lack of, I guess, innovation and as well as speed that comes in the market. And we found that some of the largest brands that are becoming more and more bigger, to compete with the bigger brands, they are actually smaller brands that are started by individuals. You can call them startups. But what happens is they actually grow and scale much faster because, they listen to consumers. They work with, they don't have such a big team. So they're able to move faster. And so for us, we really enjoy that aspect of working with clients like that. And so we wanted to partner with Shakeem and Shaquille to kind of bring this to the world. Shakeem and Shaquille have built products their whole life, especially Shakeem when it comes to, his accessibility. And so he's someone that I saw right away and understood, okay, he understands innovation. He understands what hard work is. And so does Shaquille. With such a story background in the NFL, they were the perfect people to partner with to kind of launch this new venture, which is Consumer Launchpad. And we'll get into what Consumer Launchpad is definitely in a little bit.
So, Tiger, can you please give us the details of what it's like to be into manufacturing or how hard it is to find the right manufacturer to create your products?
So that's a great question, Shakeem. Manufacturing is one of the hardest things in the world because it doesn't just mean making a product. It means that you are managing supply chains, raw materials, it means you're managing machinery, it means you're managing fulfillment. It's kind of, some of the most important part of business, the making of the product and then selling it. So there's two worlds on it. But basically to get into manufacturing, you need a ton of investments, machinery, you need a lot of money to buy material, you need a lot of energy, you need land, you need personnel. So it's not a starter business. But once you kind of perfect it and you kind of get it going, it changes the whole complexion of business for you. Because like I said, a lot of times when you have a business, you're going out looking for clients. That's what we do as well. But the thing is, once we get a client, we can keep them forever. Because as long as they sell that product, we can keep on making that product. And so that's what manufacturing really is. It's just the art of manufacturing products from 0 to 100. And so for us, we've been working with companies for 20 years, developing products with them, as well as scaling them for them, in terms of, they work on the sales and they grow their sales numbers. And for us, we actually manufacture and we purchase machinery, so that we can adequately fit what the customer may need in terms of volume, as well as, we've put investments into other places that make manufacturing and fulfillment even easier. So yeah, manufacturing is not an easy game to be in, but I think if you are in that game, it's very fulfilling, and you get to work with awesome people like Shaquem and Shaquille and other brands as well out there.
Really appreciate the response, Tiger, always. I had a follow-up question behind that. One, why manufacturing? Two, why your manufacturing and what makes you different than other manufacturing companies? If you can go in a little bit in detail to what's going on and what makes you different and the reason why it's make it easier and seamless to work with Consumers Launchpad.
Yeah, it's a great question, Shaquille. I would say number one, manufacturing is, like I said, the backbone of all companies. And so you probably want to partner with somebody that has a deep understanding of product in itself, right? So when you're stuck in a pickle of how to develop a product, or when there's issues with a product being made, you have someone that has more experience than you that can tell you exactly, hey, you need to change this part and this part and this part. And that's all engineering and that's all experience. You don't learn that in school. That's just from, working on it for years and years and years. And we have engineers with 50 years of experience here that we have paid handsomely to, solve issues for people like yourself. So that's why, you stick with us for manufacturing. Number one is experience, but why manufacturing in general? And number two, why work with Consumer Launchpad in manufacturing? Well, number one, it's trustworthy. Our clientele is extremely, extremely varied. I can't go into details of all of them, but we work with, Fortune 500 companies for over 20 years. And these are companies that trust us and they've developed products with us over time. And so, we know exactly what we're doing. But secondly, we also have multiple locations. So not only within the country of China, but we actually have warehouses in the United States for fulfillment. But at the same time, we also have factories in Thailand for production, and as well as other partnerships for textiles and things like that all around the world. So we have a lot of different locations that you can use to kind of minimize your tariff intake. But at the same time, you're also able to trust that, we have your best interest in mind, because like I said, our job is basically to help people develop products and scale them. Like I said, our whole business is built upon your trust and long-term relationships, because, we can work with you for 5 days and then that's it. But, for our business model, we want to work with you long-term. So then you can trust us, keep developing products with us and keep shipping products from us. Like I said, as we have 3PL. So I would say that based upon our experience, based upon our abilities, based upon our locations of factories and our solutions for you, as well as our previous records, I think it's kind of a no-brainer. And as well as now with the integration of Shaquem and Shaquille, they are able to bring a commercialization part of it in terms of, being a known face that can share your product. And that's kind of why we think Consumer Launchpad is a different entity in itself than just all product development. Because not only can we actually get you to production and get you to scale and commercialization, but we might be able to even get licensing and distribution rights for your products. And that is exactly what Consumer Launchpad is all about, to help the consumers launch their products right away.
So, Tiger, I got another question for you. So, understanding that there's tariffs out there that makes it hard for people to get their products back and forth from China to the US. And for those out there who don't understand tariffs, can you give us a little something on what tariffs is and how the Consumer Launchpad company is planning on avoiding some of them certain tariffs for people products can be able to come in seamless and efficiently?
That's a great question, Shaquem. And thank you for asking that. I think this is a very common question that a lot of people don't have a good understanding of. Basically, tariffs are a tax that's being levied by a certain country, right now the United States, on other countries when they import products into it. So it's basically an additional fee or a tax that gets imposed on imported products. And many people think, there's a misconception that these tariffs are being paid by other companies or other countries. And yes, in some way it is, but when it comes down to it, the other country is making the product and selling it over here. They're not going to incur that cost. There might be, some fluctuation between the cost of their product being sold or, their shipment costs and things like that. But at the end of the day, the cost gets bear onto the consumers. And so that's kind of what a tariff is and what we're currently dealing with in the United States and other countries. Consumer Launchpad is in a unique space where we are able to avoid tariffs or you can't avoid tariffs, but we're in a unique space where we can kind of mitigate and work on in some cases to kind of mitigate and get lower tariffs because we have different locations. We have a location in Thailand. We have a location in China, which allows us to kind of have the flexibility to ship products and samples and put components over and get them installed in different locations, and which is totally legal. As long as you have a COO, which is a country of origin document, you can legally say that you are manufacturing out there. And so that's kind of currently what we do. We have different locations that we use to help our customers lower their tariffs. And that's kind of the whole case of it.
Well, we're getting towards the end of episode 1, and there's one thing that we want to tell you about that we're going to be bringing to Consumer Launchpad, and it is going to be an athletic onboarding service. So what that is other athletes is going to be able to have consultations from us, and as they building their brand, we're going to help them build products for the audience that's building to love them. Did I get that right? You feeling that?
Yeah. You
feeling
can say it. So you can say it one more time for the people in the back.
that?
But no, I think the main thing is giving the athletes the platform that they well deserve, so we can get it to the consumers who will fall in love with the products next. So,
Stay tuned.
yeah,
We got a lot more to talk about. If you want to hear more about that athletic onboarding service, well, we'll see you on episode 2.
yeah, a lot more in store.